The truth is, narcissists don't entirely leave you for the new supply. This is why they leave. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Thank you once again for joining us for another video. If you find our content valuable, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us grow and reach a wider audience. Now let us delve into the topic for today's discussion. I want to address this directly and without delay. The question is, why do narcissists leave? It is important to understand that a narcissist typically does not leave you simply because they have found a new supply. They do not leave because they are genuinely in love with someone else, nor because a seemingly better opportunity has presented itself. We often hear the notion that narcissists move from one supply to another out of necessity as they require supply. However, I wish to share with you a deeper reality of what is sincerely occurring. Frequently we become trapped in rumination, finding it difficult to move forward from the relationship because we mistakenly believe that the narcissist felt more love or admiration for someone else than for us. This quite simply is not the truth. Narcissists do not abandon their primary or most valuable supply because another individual is inherently better than you. They do not leave because they believe that any secondary or tertiary supply can sincerely replace you. It is crucial to realize that we are dealing with the mindset of an individual whose personality is fundamentally disordered. While it may be challenging, if not impossible, to fully comprehend a disordered mind, when you consider the entirety of the disturbance and the various factors contributing to a narcissist's disturbance, you begin to gain a clearer picture of the nature of their peculiar behavior. What they do leave you for, and this is a critical point to grasp about these relationships, is their inability to go the distance. Narcissists lack the inner capacity or depth to sincerely receive and appreciate the fullness of who you are. This is a significant understanding. When you view this situation comprehensively, you must consider the lack of depth within the narcissist themselves, as they are typically very shallow individuals. Many of you may be able to attest that you found it difficult to have a sincerely serious or profound conversation with a narcissist. Perhaps every time you attempted to engage with them on a deeper level, they would deflect, dismiss your efforts, or create a humorous diversion to sidetrack you, effectively causing you to cease your attempt to connect deeply. They engage in this behavior because they are aware of their own limitations. They understand that eventually, you will desire more from them than they are capable of giving. Therefore, their strategy, which I will now explain, is as follows. They know that in order to keep you engaged and hanging on, there is one essential step they must take. They need to initiate the diminishing stage. This is a necessary phase for them because it prepares you for the rejection. However, it is not a final rejection in the conventional sense. Rather, they need to move you into a position where they can shelf you. Because that is precisely what this process is. It is like putting you on a shelf. It is a cycle of put on the shelf, take off the shelf, put on the shelf, take off the shelf. This is the pattern of interaction they engage in with you. It is not that they are leaving you to go to another supply, because they are genuinely fond of or in love with that new supply. They do not leave you for other supply in that manner. What they actually leave you for is their inherent disturbance. You see what happens as they move on to the next situation, only to discover that the circumstances there are not any better. It is akin to expecting greener grass elsewhere, only to find upon closer inspection that the grass there is also brown beneath the surface. Had they simply tended to and nurtured the grass they already had, they might have been in a far better state. This is the fundamental operation of their disturbance mind. They realize that they are incapable of sustaining a deep, long-term connection. They understand that they need to engineer scenarios where they can monkey branch, moving back and forth between you and other supplies, whenever it serves their purpose. This constitutes their intricate web of deception. This is also why narcissists tend to cultivate what we refer to as herms. A herm in this context is a collective group of individuals who serve as potential supply. They create this network so they can effortlessly switch between these people at any given moment. These individuals within the herd often do not fully comprehend who the narcissist sincerely is, nor do they understand the nature of this disorder and how it manifests in their behavior. Consequently, if they are successful in securing various sources of supply in this manner, a narcissist can indeed move rapidly from one person to another. This transition can occur remarkably quickly, perhaps even every couple of weeks. Some of you may have experienced rejection or significant conflicts with the narcissist, as frequently as every 2 to 3 weeks, resulting in repeated breakups. This was possible because they had amassed a sufficient number of individuals within their collective to enable such rapid cycling. However, a narcissist does not leave you because they are profoundly captivated by the new supply. While it is true that they will leave you and proceed to another supply, this action is dictated by their disturbance and the nature of their disorder. The underlying reason they sincerely leave is their awareness that they lack the capacity to go the distance in a relationship. Therefore, they must manipulate situations to create within you a desire to hold on to them, to make you question why you are enduring these difficulties, why they are repeating certain behaviors. They must cultivate this environment in order to maintain a presence in your life. This is because they know that if they were to approach you with genuine honesty and transparency, you would quickly realize that they are entirely different from whom you initially perceived them to be. You would understand that these individuals do not possess the ability for depth or sustained connection with you. You would realize them as a complete fabrication, a total fraud. To conceal this reality, they must oscillate between being with you and leaving, while cruelly, always ensuring that the door for their return remains open. The method they employ to keep this door open is by intentionally denying you closure. Do you see the dynamic at play? It is a common misconception to believe that a narcissist departs for a new supply out of genuine affection for that person. They do not love the new supply. They did not love you, and they do not love the new supply either. Narcissists typically do not even love their own children, and they most certainly do not love themselves. When you gain an understanding of this dynamic and how their mind operates, it can hopefully help you realize that, despite any belief you may have held, you never sincerely had a fair chance in the relationship. Because the individual, this chaotic and fundamentally flawed person, simply does not possess the inherent capacity or capability to go the distance in a healthy, meaningful connection. They are limited in what they can offer. All they are capable of doing is manipulating you, engaging in the pattern of putting you on the shelf, taking you off the shelf and putting you back on the shelf. They do this to maintain control, often making you desire them, because they deliberately withhold closure. They orchestrate situations designed to cause you sorrow, pain and hurt, leading you through intense emotional turmoil. Then they may reappear, presenting themselves as a Captain Save, like a Superman or Superwoman figure in your life, seemingly arriving to rescue you from the very distress they inflicted. This cycle repeats because they have subjected you to this treatment numerous times. Indeed, this entire dynamic stems from their internal limitation. It is all because they understand at some level that they lack the necessary capacity to remain consistently present, to sincerely commit and to persevere through challenges, to make the relationship genuinely function. Narcissists are fundamentally devoid of effective coping skills. They possess control skills in abundance, but genuine emotional coping mechanisms are absent. Consider this: how can an individual who possesses zero empathy sincerely navigate relationships? The absence of empathy means at its core that they do not genuinely learn from their mistakes in the way emotionally healthy individuals do. They lack the innate ability to process natural human emotions authentically. Their understanding and processing of emotion occurs solely on a cognitive level from their mind rather than from their heart. This is because they have learned to mimic emotional responses by observing others. It is not born from a genuine, heartfelt capacity for empathy or emotional connection. They observe how others behave emotionally, and that is how they attempt to replicate it. Therefore, a narcissist does not genuinely leave you, because they are intensely captivated by the new supply. When we sincerely dissect and analyze the situation, do they leave you for another supply? Yes, typically they do. But are they leaving you out of a deep affection or love for that other supply? Absolutely not. Their departure is rooted in their recognition that you will eventually require more from them than they are capable of providing. To retain you within their orbit, within their life in some capacity, they must keep you ensnared in their elaborate web of deception and control. This is precisely how individuals find themselves trapped in these relationships, day after day, month after month, and year after year. It becomes nothing more than a relentless cycle of pain, hurt, distress, and whatever other negative elements they introduce. It is crucial that you do not permit them to continue this pattern. Do not allow yourself to fall prey to this cycle. Do not harbor the belief in your mind that the other person they may have turned to is somehow superior to you. Dispel that thought entirely because it is simply not true. That individual was not better than you. They were nowhere near it. The reality is that this is the only way the narcissist knows how to secure and retain supply. They lack the fundamental ability to sustain a genuine, reciprocal relationship over time because they do not possess the inner resources required. This deficiency stems from their unwillingness to be vulnerable, to open themselves up and to allow you into the deeper, more intimate aspects of their being. So they construct and perpetuate this complex game with you. This is the mechanism by which they move back and forth, engaging you in this exhausting push and pull for years of your life, causing immense frustration, and ultimately wasting your valuable time and energy. It is imperative that you draw a definitive line and put an end to this cycle. Now I want to offer a perspective that may initially seem counterintuitive. When the narcissist exits your life, it can in fact be viewed as a moment to celebrate. I fully understand that you may feel hurt, betrayed, and be experiencing profound pain. I would never dismiss those valid emotions. However, it is vital that you do not allow that hurt and pain to completely overwhelm you or become an unbearable burden, particularly the hurt, pain, and betrayal you endured due to the narcissist's involvement in your life. Now that they are gone, it is genuinely a moment for relief and even celebration. Consider this honestly: you are valuable. You are great a supply. You represent a potent source of connection, particularly as someone who is likely a chosen one and an empath, possessing significant inherent worth. The narcissist who was involved in your life would not have left you permanently if they sincerely believed they could continue to benefit from you endlessly without consequence. They would have remained beside you, keeping you in a state of unawareness or asleep. Had they stayed by your side indefinitely, keeping you metaphorically asleep, you might never have awakened to the reality of the situation, the nature of their disorder, or your own strength and potential for healing and growth. Their departure, painful as it is, can be the very catalyst for your awakening. This entire separation, this moment of their departure from your life, can be seen as divinely orchestrated. The very reason you have awakened to the truth, the reason they are no longer present, is a form of intervention, a grace from God that has created this necessary distance between you, allowing them to continue their path without you. You see, they would have clung to you relentlessly like glue. I understand that you are currently experiencing pain, and you have undoubtedly endured significant struggle and strain. However, I implore you not to allow those difficult emotions to completely overcome you or gain the upper hand. Now that the narcissist is gone, you are presented with an abundance of new opportunities in life. Indeed, when one door closes, many more will open for you. There are numerous other areas in your life that you can now actively pursue, whether they relate to your professional career, your job, or even building your own business. You have avenues to keep your mind engaged and focused on positive endeavors. And it is in these pursuits that you are destined to succeed. Consider this: when the narcissist was a presence in your life, they were a constant source of negative energy, a veritable bag of bad energy. They were actively deterring you from achieving your goals and hindering you from reaching your full potential. Therefore, this departure is genuinely a moment that warrants celebration. It is something you should always hold in your memory. Always remember this truth: the narcissist is gone from your life, and for that you can express gratitude. Anytime you find yourself feeling down, upset, betrayed, or hurt, pause and reframe your thinking. Instead of dwelling on those feelings, shift your perspective. Acknowledge that this difficult period has passed, and give thanks that this draining force, this parasite, has finally exited your life. Regardless of the specific reason for their exit, it is important to understand the dynamic. Let us consider the scenario where you were rejection ed. It is vital that you do not feel like a rejected or undesirable person. They succumbed to an illusion. They were fed the false belief that the grass would be greener elsewhere, that things would be better with someone new. And as you may learn from exploring resources such as my other videos, this belief is fundamentally flawed and destined to fail. Their attempts to find better supply consistently fall short, particularly when compared to a chosen one or an empath. who possess unique qualities that narcissists inherently seek, but cannot genuinely appreciate or replicate. Therefore, I encourage you to celebrate this time in your life. This period of being free from their influence. Allow yourself to feel proud of reaching this point. Be thankful for this release. Be grateful for this opportunity, because the narcissist was a sincerely oppressive force in your life. They actively held you back and dragged you down. They were constantly manipulating you, devaluing your worth and undermining your sense of self. Having such an individual in your life, in your inner circle, is arguably one of the worst possible circumstances. Above all, you must celebrate this newfound freedom. Embrace and enjoy your life. This period is, in fact, a sincerely remarkable grace. It is difficult to adequately express in words the depth of this grace. It is only when you have fully awakened to the reality of this situation that you will sincerely comprehend the profound, fundamental graces that are now unfolding in your life. You will come to see clearly that this separation was divinely orchestrated. Think about the state you were in before. You were in a sense asleep. You were unknowingly providing copious amounts of supply to the narcissist. The narcissist was being revitalized and energized, at your expense, draining and depleting your own energy and resources. Then something shifted. Something happened within you. You began to awaken. And as you started to wake up, they likely became paranoid, fearing your awareness. This paranoia may have hastened their decision to rejection you, prompted a reverse rejection, or caused them to escalate their toxic behaviors in retaliation for your newfound awareness. They were actively attempting to keep you trapped and under their influence. And then a moment of clarity arrived, leading you to the realization that you needed to sever the connection. It is imperative that you do not allow these individuals back into your life under any circumstances. Do not grant them a second chance. Once a narcissist is gone from your life, you must never permit them to return. The goal is to keep them gone permanently. This means you need to ensure the door is not just closed, but firmly slammed shut. You want to secure it with a bolt and even have it welded shut, metaphorically speaking. You should never ever want these individuals to re-enter your life. Accepting their return is simply not an option you can afford to consider. And rest assured they will try to return. They will genuinely attempt to reconnect. This often happens after they spend even a brief period alone in the real world without the immediate availability of an empath or a chosen one to provide supply. In their desperation, they will likely come knocking. They will attempt to hoover you back into their orbit. These hovering attempts are essentially temperament checks. As I've mentioned, they are assessing your current emotional state and resilience. However, beyond that, they are trying to understand what is happening in your mind. They want to determine if you have sincerely moved past them, if you have healed from the damage they inflicted. This dynamic holds true regardless of the nature of the relationship. They will seek to re-enter your life, and it is absolutely essential that you maintain a steadfast, strong and unwavering stance. You must not under any circumstances allow these individuals, these parasites, back into your life. The cost to your well-being is simply too high. Narcissists have a tendency to try and maintain some form of contact with you, often in unusual or unsettling ways. The narcissist who is involved in your life will likely attempt to stay connected, even if it is merely by spying on you from a distance, or creating fake online accounts to try and communicate with you. They will resort to various tactics. They will try anything to regain access. Therefore, exercise caution when accepting certain requests on social media or other platforms. If you have blocked them, they will seek alternative means to gain access, often by creating fake or strange-looking accounts. You can often discern their attempts as they can be quite blatant. I am not sure if they do this intentionally, to make you aware of their presence or for some other reason, but this is a common tactic they employ. So remain strong. Remember that this is a period for celebration. Enjoy your day, look forward to the week ahead, and sincerely give thanks and express gratitude for finally being free from the clutches of this narcissist. Being able to finally detach from this narcissist is genuinely a remarkable grace. It is a truth that can be reinforced within yourself. Anytime you feel down, remember that your separation from them is a grace. regardless of how it occurred. Remember that the narcissist who was in your life is now gone. This is sincerely a remarkable grace. And all thanks and praise should be offered for this liberation. To God the Most High. Express profound gratitude and genuinely celebrate. The disconnection from the narcissist is an extraordinary event. It is a sincerely beautiful grace. So thank you very much for tuning in today. If you found this content helpful, please take a moment to press the like button, comment, share and subscribe. Your support helps us reach more people who may benefit from this information. I will be back with another video soon.